a big shot, unless we talking about hip-hop. Bad at TikTok, but I'll make movies like Hitchcock. Challenge Mitch, you'll barely make it like trick shots. Check your wristwatch, it's time for you all to quit, stop trying me. I'ma be honest, I'm pretty glad no labels eyeing me. I'm independent and I don't want nobody buying me.
Yo, what up everybody, this is Mr. Raw, and today something a little different, something a little new. I've been trying to set up for later, my stream for later. I'm gonna do some stuff where I'm on the internet looking at stuff and like kind of setting it up how, you know, streamers tend to do. This obviously isn't a stream, it's a recorded video, but I am testing, using this as like a test sort of thing. But this is kind of impromptu. I got home from my kind of celebrating Mother's Day with my mother and grandmother and my family, and I saw Ruslan. Y'all know Ruslan. He posted this today, and I had seen the Rowling tweet earlier. So Ruslan says, "Hey Saints, in your perspective, is J.K. Rowling going a bit too hard?" So, for context, if you missed it, so I haven't watched all the Harry Potter movies, right? But obviously I know who J.K. is, and I know that she's been under fire for years now about her opinions when it comes to gender. Kind of I believe her opinions on like the LGBT stuff, all that, right? So I see, let's go to the actual article. So J.K. Rowling is accused of cruelty as she mocks transgender football, and I believe it's European football manager, by comparing her to a straight white middle-aged bloke. So let's just go to the link first. Daily Mail. Okay, so J.K. Rowling is accused of cruelty as she mocks transgender football manager by comparing her to a straight white middle-aged bloke. So it looks like, let me pull this up real quick. So the transgender referee is the first trans manager in the top 5 divisions of English women's football. In a post, J.K. Rowling said, "When I was young, all the football managers were straight white mid-aged blokes. So it's fantastic to see how much things have changed." Social media users were quick to blast the author, calling the author's post cruel. This is Lucy Clark, first openly transgender referee, made history. Right. So she made a comment on Twitter. That's what she did. She made a comment about this, clearly saying, "Hey, this is this is a straight white male," right? So let's back up real quick. So then she doubled down. "I didn't compare him to one. He is one," right? And of course, comments. I don't have to scroll down for you to see. They are killing her in the comments, right? So Ruslan says, and I don't know his perspective. I don't know if he's gonna make a video. I have a feeling he will. But he says, "Do you think she's going a bit too hard?" Now I'm gonna go ahead and scroll down. I'm sure my guy Big Swiss, that's my guy. I love him. I'm sure he won't mind me showing our exchange. So he says, "Nope, it's better to be hated for telling the truth than loved for telling a lie," which I don't disagree with, by the way. But I had a little bit of pushback. So I said, okay, so I will push back a tad and say there is a middle ground somewhere in there. And I think I may not have been, Twitter is not the best place for conversations like this anyway, but I don't think I was clear on what I was saying. So Swiss says there's no middle ground in objective truth, which is true. Just because a man wants to be a woman and dress like one doesn't make him a woman, and to play along is absolute lunacy for a culture to accept. And it was at this point that I realized that there was a disconnect because we're on Twitter and maybe I should make a video. So I said, yeah, to be clear, I'm not saying there's middle ground when it comes to the truth. So I'm gonna be super clear. And I already have a feeling this video is gonna get misinterpreted and misunderstood, but I really felt led to kind of like share my heart on this. So he's correct, right? There is no middle ground when it comes to objective truth. It either is or it isn't. Especially those of us who are Christians, God essentially has the say in that, right? So that's not what I'm talking about. There's middle ground in. Ruslan's specific question is J.K. Rowling going a bit too hard? So not is the truth that she's saying, is the truth too hard? Is the fact that the truth is what it is that too hard? Or is it the way she's approaching this? So here's the pushback I give, right? I don't think there's only 2 options in every case, in every scenario. I don't think there's only either lie and just like admit something that's not true just to please people and lie, or make sure people hate you by making sure you get the truth across in any possible way, right? I don't think those are the only 2 options in every scenario. I think there's plenty of scenarios where it probably is, like where if you tell the truth, you're probably gonna be hated. But I don't think you should be like, well, it's better to be hated, so I'm gonna go the route. I'm gonna make sure that I'm hated. I'm going to not take any care in getting this message across, because ultimately, what do we want to be, right? Or do we want to bring people to Christ, right? We want Obviously, you want to be correct. You're not going to lie, right? But is our goal to just be right, or is the goal to ultimately bring people to Christ, right? Because they're very two different things. If my goal is just to be right, I can be right all day long. I can be right in any possible way. I don't even have to think about the people or loving people or bringing anyone to Christ. I'm right, and that's what my goal is. Or is my goal to really reach people, right? And so the reason why I bring that up is because it wasn't like JK was interviewed. It wasn't like somebody asked her. Like I think they asked the South Carolina women's basketball coach, they asked her thoughts on transgender, athletes, right? It's different if you're being asked or approached or somebody is kind of wanting your opinion or something. It's a whole different thing to just see a post and this is with anything, right, that you agree or disagree with. It's a whole different thing to see a post and then just out of nowhere kind of, and I don't know if I want to use the word mock, but just like kind of spit the truth that is going to be controversial when nobody really asked you. It's a little different to do that just for the sake of it, because it doesn't come across as if you're actually loving or trying to assist anybody. What's the good work in that other than just throwing like a truth bomb that is going to upset people? You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I'm not even saying she's wrong. She's not wrong in her thoughts. I completely agree with her, but it's the motive, right? Are you trying to be loving, or are you just trying to offend people, right? The goal isn't to offend. The goal isn't to offend. We will most certainly offend people with the truth, but the goal is not to offend, right? You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know what Ruslan's thoughts are. I'm not even going to pretend to know. But what it made me think of when I saw his question is like, okay, did she need to make that initial comment? Did she need to do that? No, right? But she did it. They made an article about it. Then did she need to double back and say, I didn't compare him to one he is? Like, at this point, you're doubling down. At this point, what good is truly coming from this, right? Because think about it, right? The goal is not to convince immoral people to do the right thing just because it's like the rule, right? The goal is to bring people to Christ. And then once you're in Christ, you're inclined to be like Christ and to be righteous and to do what Christ says. There's a complete, like, if we just get people who are doing things that we believe to be sinful or wrong to not do those things anymore, and we talked about this in church today, this is why I felt kind of late to talk about it. Are we still, like, are we going to, let's say that tomorrow we're able to pass a law where, like, nobody can be transgender or gay, any of that, right? Are we just going to be like, we got that handled, all right, no more of that. Let's go. Or are we actually going to be trying to talk to those people who now are affected by this law, right? And actually tell them about Jesus and tell them why we even care about it. What's the reason why we're even saying you shouldn't be doing this. We don't agree with this. This is wrong. This is, etc. Why are we not talking to them about Jesus the same way that we be throwing these truth bombs of like, you're a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, and again, I already know this is going to get misinterpreted and probably clipped or whatever, but like, to answer Ruslan's question, do I think she's being a bit too hard? Yes, only in the sense of it does not feel loving. It doesn't feel like she was asked this or needed to do this. It feels like, and I could be completely being unfair and making inferences, but just to me, this is Mitch. It feels like what a lot of Christians will do is where we just want to be right for the sake of being right. We just want to be kind of outright outraged and be like, this is wrong and you're not what you think you are and you're gonna hate me for this. But like, as opposed to like, let me be kind to you, even if I don't agree with your lifestyle at all. Not even just with this, with anybody, someone who's an alcoholic, somebody who's a liar, a thief, anything. It shouldn't be about, I want to tell you that you're wrong. I want to tell you the truth because of course I have to tell you the truth. But do I actually love you, actually care about you, do I actually want you to be saved, do I actually want you to understand why it is that I'm even saying this? Not just some magic rule that I just follow for the sake of it. No, it's because of Jesus, and Jesus is God, and God is righteousness and goodness, and this is how he tells us to live, and you're not in line with that. It's just a completely different mindset, you know? It doesn't change the fact that the truth is what the truth is, but it does change our approach. And for me personally, I would not, this is just me. I'm not even saying that like people shouldn't ever do this, but I wouldn't just like spew out, especially on the internet, which is already a toxic place, just a truth that I know to be controversial without actually trying to like talk to somebody and like show that I love them and like here's why, and like it's just, I just feel like it's a different approach, because I can tell you right now, if you guys truly believe that like this is effective when it comes to like trying to bring people to Christ and like showing love and like being a good example and like witnessing, if you genuinely, people are saved by comments like these, like doubling down and like when people aren't asking you and just kind of, if you truly believe that, then I'll shut up. I won't say anything else, because if it's effective, then bet. But I just feel like we don't even think about that. We're like, effective? I just want people to know what the truth is. Like, but why? Why? They can hear it all day long. People are not going to change their minds on things until they understand why it is. Because it's not what the rule or what the law is or what, it's the why. It's the Christ part of it. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes some sense. I have a bad feeling about how this video is going to do, but I just had to share my heart. We had talked about it in church a little bit today. We weren't talking about trans stuff. We were talking about homosexuality, but just talking about how like it doesn't feel like we try to be loving. It feels like we just want to be right, and we can be right all day long, but at the end of the day, God's not going to be like, were you right? Did you did you prove him wrong or no? Did you share what it even is that you're even about? Why is it that you're even saying that this is something that's wrong? What is the point? It's the Jesus part of it, the most important part of it, right? So I've got such a terrible feeling. I really will pray that this video is taken well, but I really wanted to make this video because I felt led to, and I just feel like it's a message that we as Christians should really be focusing on. We can get stuck and just want to be in arguments and wanting to like just tell people they're wrong and that they're sinning, and it's just like we forget about the why. It's not just these rules that we follow just because they're the rules. Like, it's because of Jesus. So but I love y'all. I hope this is like something that y'all would want me to do more of. Not necessarily this subject matter, but just like smaller me in a corner and like internet stuff in the background, me talking about it like a streamer, you know. Who knows? Maybe we'll get more of it. But I love y'all. I really do. And I really hope that y'all at least hear what I'm trying to say. It's not that she's wrong. It's not that we shouldn't tell the truth. It's not that we should just blindly follow what's popular. It's not like we should be afraid to offend people. But our goal should not be to offend for the sake of it and to be right just because there's always, here's the thing, this is the last thing I'll say. There's always not everyone's going to heaven. We know this. This is told us. So there's always going to be people who are just not going to agree with us when it comes to what's sin, how we should live, right? So if we just want to argue all day, we can argue until we die, literally. But is the point to just argue and be like, you're wrong? Nobody has ever been changed, or very few people, I think, have had their mind changed by you just being like, you're wrong. You're going to hell because of this. Like, talk about the Jesus part. Talk about why it is that I'm even saying. I've reiterated this so many times, but I really want to get it across. Like, there's a reason that I'm saying that this is wrong, and it's because of Jesus. It's because of him. And if you follow him, you'll be fulfilled, and everything will be like everything. You'll want everything in your life to change. It won't just be that. It'll be any sin, anywhere you fall short, not just the things that we like to pick on, you know. But anyway, I could go for another hour. So I love you guys. I really do. Please hear my heart. Please, I'm begging you. I'm so terrified. I love y'all. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. Shouts to Ruslan. Shouts to Big Swiss. Shouts to CHH Twitter. I love y'all. Like and subscribe if you haven't. Praise God. Peace.